This is a last word riff that you really should check out. This week, let me show you how to make a Monte Cassino. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Matt, I'm the Whiskey Nerd, and like I said, today I'm making a last word riff that you should really check out. I'm making a Monte Cassino, and I got the idea for this cocktail from one of you folks, one of you watchers, subscribers, and commenters. I made a video a while back called A Final Word, which is a riff on a last word. I'll put a link to that up there, a link down below, and one of you fine people, a person called AG in SF, which I assume is San Francisco Bay Area, commented and said you should try out a Monte Cassino, which is a really nice little cocktail. Did a little bit of research on it, and it does look very nice. This was created by Damon Dyer in New York City in a bar I think called Louis 649 or Louis 649, and he made it for a cocktail competition with the Benedictine company because the cocktail is named after Monte Cassino, which is like hill, a kind of a mountain hill thing outside of Rome, and it's where the Benedictine monastery is, where this liqueur, this Benedictine liqueur, was kind of originally created. There are riffs of this cocktail, I think variations with bourbon, with tequila, and they all have kind of different names, but today we're talking about this one here, the original riff, the Monte Cassino. It uses rye whiskey, and I've got this right here, the Sazerac rye. For me, it's a fantastic little rye, has enough weight to it that it'll stand up to cocktails, but also it's a nice little niche drinker. As you can see, I've enjoyed a lot of it. My bottle is getting kind of low, but it's still a very nice cocktail whiskey. I'm also going to be using the Benedictine liqueur, some Yellow Chartreuse, which is like the green Chartreuse, but it's a little bit lighter, a little bit sweeter, a little bit less alcohol forward. Comes in at 43% ABV, whereas green Chartreuse comes in at 55, so a bit heavier. And lastly, using a bit of lemon juice, freshly squeezed lemon juice. So it's all going to be equal proportions. It's all going to be 22.5 ml, similar in style to like the last word cocktail, but just with some different ingredients to give it a different kind of twist. So that's enough talking about the cocktail. I think it's time we make it. It is going to be a shaken drink, so we're going to get a shaker tin and we're going to pop a nice rock of ice into there before we measure out our ingredients. Like I said, it's going to be 22.5 ml, which is 2/3 of an ounce. So I've got my little Difford's measure cup here, which is actually really nice. It has a lot of different measures on both sides, milliliter and ounces, so it's very good for cocktails like this. So we're going to go in with 22.5 ml or 2/3 of an ounce of all four of our ingredients. So starting off with our Sazerac rye, but you can use whichever rye you want. You can even use like a higher proof or like a cask strength rye to give a bit more of that rye flavor, but I like that one right there. Next up, our Benedictine liqueur. This comes in at 40% ABV. So again, this is going to be a bit of a boozy cocktail, but this is really nice. It's really sweet and herbal. It's hard to describe Benedictine. It has one of those kind of unique flavors that, you know, it has let it survive the test of time. Like it has a very nice flavor and kind of a thickness, like a syrupy nature to it. I think does add a lot to cocktails, especially when you're putting it up against ingredients like Yellow Chartreuse, where this is very herbal but in a different way, whereas that one is like syrupy herbal. This one a bit more like liqueur, a bit more like alcohol herbal notes. So a little different, but they all work well together. So that there was 2/3 of an ounce or 22.5 ml of our Yellow Chartreuse. And lastly, we're going to go in with our freshly squeezed lemon juice. Again, 2/3 of an ounce. Pop that into there, bang the top on the top of our cocktail shaker, and shake it for 30 seconds to get everything nice and cold. Okay, I think that is nicely chilled. So we're going to bang the top off our shaker tin, and we're going to get ready to strain it out into a nicely chilled coupe glass. We're going to pop our strainer up top and get ready to pour it out just into there, just like that. Now, the recipe for this does call for a little garnish of a little lemon twist. So I'm going to pop the oils over the top, give it a bit of a twist, perch that over the edge, just like that. And that right there is how I make a Monte Cassino. Real quick, before I taste this cocktail, if you're new here, scroll down, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I put out cocktail recipes like this featuring whiskey every Friday, and I put out reviews of whiskey every Wednesday. So if you want to see those, make sure you hit subscribe. And while you're down there, let me know any other cocktails that you think I should check out, because I do take your comments on board and I like experimenting with different cocktails. But right now, let's taste this cocktail. Cheers. Yeah, that's nice. It is, like I said, like this is quite a syrupy liqueur. It's like thick and dense, and it gives you this really nice, like heavyweight flavor. The little lemon oil, the kind of like the lemon juice gives you this pop of citrus, but then because you're also using a rye, which can be kind of herbal, kind of like black licorice, anise, those kind of flavors, green tea, eucalyptus, menthol, you can get those flavors in rye. They work really well because you got two herbal liqueurs here, so nothing's like fighting against the other flavors. I don't think you'd be drinking a lot of this cocktail. I don't think you'd put a straw in it and down it in one go. I also don't think I'd serve it over ice, because I think it's nice, it's strong, and it's a sipper. I don't think I'd like it diluted any further. I think as it is, it's quite nice, quite rich, quite full flavored, and it's just one of those cocktails you can sip with, maybe like an after dinner drink or like an aperitif, where it's not about like drinking a lot, it's about drinking something that's really, really tasty and really full flavored, and that's what this is here. So I'm gonna keep on enjoying it, and I'll see you next time. Sláinte.